What is up, everyone? Today we're going to be talking about Survivors, Millennials versus Gen X. I believe this is episode 4 now, and we have a lot to talk about. What the fuck?
So much happened in this episode. It's ridiculous. This is the best episode this season yet. It's ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
What the fuck?
I don't take notes. I took notes on this episode because there was just so much happening on both sides. And like, Millennials didn't even go to tribal council and they still had stuff going on. It was insane.
Okay, so I guess we can start off with the episode. After Paul leaves, Chris and Brett are really pissed off. They don't really want to talk to anybody. You blindside us, go away.
Yeah.
Yada yada. And it makes sense. They feel like they're on the outs, but they're actually not.
Yeah. They're not. It was just people just wanted Paul gone, and that was really it. People didn't like he was completely in control. He gave Jessica a bad vibe, but weirdly enough, it landed on Jessica's fault.
Yeah.
Like, somehow you were like, it was Jessica that sent her home. And I think that was just a way to appease Brett and Chris and be like, hey, like, this is the reason why, so let's just peg it on her. And then it just took off from there.
Yeah, that was completely insane. So, like, tribal council, well, not tribal council, but their tribes are talking and they're just trying to figure stuff out. When we get to the award challenge, this was actually pretty interesting because we got to see how competitive everyone is.
Yes.
We were able to see how some people kind of reveal their cards and show that, especially Chris of all people, show that he can beast like comps like crazy.
Chris is playing a short-term game. He's playing a short-term game in challenges. Socially, he's playing a long-term game, as we saw. Like, he likes being comfortable. He likes getting a large group together and sticking to that group. And that's a very smart social strategy, a very safe one. But when you're in a game that has a theme, like this season, there's going to be a switch. And Chris, he's not going to do well. Like, I don't see him. I see him getting to the merge, but he's not going to make it very far after the merge.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. But also we had, in this competition, we had somebody lose their top.
I'm going to see top today. That's a quote. But yeah, Michaela, I don't think necessarily, I think she got a lot of respect for that, which was ridiculous. A lot of people were just like, wow, that's awesome. And I think it just helps because like she was on the bottom of the tribe. Like, people didn't really like her. Figgy in particular doesn't like her. She gained a lot of respect, and I think that's going to go a long way in the switch next week because she's not in a majority alliance, but people still respect her, and that's going to keep her in the game.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, about the competition. So they had to. I forgot exactly what they had to bring. They had to bring, was it a ball or?
It was a ring. It was a ring.
It was a ring. Yeah, it was a ring, and they had to bring it to their huge pole. Yeah. And it was like pretty cutthroat, to be honest with you, because it came down. Didn't it come down to like one specific?
It was 1 point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this just shows how the difference between the Millennials and the Gen X. I think we now have a definitive difference between how the tribes functions. The Gen Xers, the way I see it is that they believe that they have to just get it done. I mean, it's typical Gen Xer stuff. Like, just because it doesn't fit the first time, we're just going to force it to fit. They're very physical competitors, whereas I feel like the Millennials are more strategy. As you can see, whenever there's a puzzle, they tend to do a lot better. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they're a little bit more smarter in how they perceive certain things, especially in challenges. But the Gen Xers, if there's no puzzle, they've got it. Like,
yeah, I think that the Millennials are very strategic, and they're not like emotional wrecks compared to the Gen X, where they're just like flipping all over the place.
Yeah, like the Gen Xers, I feel like the Millennials, they don't take things as personally. Like they very much understand that this is a game. We saw that, like, with the exception, of course, being Zeke, and he had to calm himself down first, but like eventually he came back to the realization, okay, this is a game. I need to just bygones be bygones. This is just something that happens. At least I'm not gone. And Adam as well, like, these guys, they understand that just because you make a move doesn't mean you hate the person. Whereas I think the Gen Xers are having a more difficult time with that. I mean, Ken is very emotional. David's been very emotional. Lucy got into fights. Jessica, no doubt, is going to be taking this past tribal council with some emotion, some grain of salt. Brett and Chris get offended every time they're blindsided. It's dumb.
Yeah. So let's talk about the immunity challenge. So it was obviously we had two groups of people who were trying to grab as many words as possible in like a type of, how do you even explain it? Like contraption, kind of like
it was like a chairlift.
Yeah, a chairlift. Yeah, and it seemed like the Gen X were doing like pretty like okay in the beginning.
Yeah, it's a puzzle. Once the Gen Xers hit a puzzle, it's hard. I feel like they might have lost some time and energy when they put Chris, Ken, and Ken on the chair rather than maybe Sunday or Jessica. Like we've seen Sunday and Jessica and how good they are at puzzles. I mean, the first challenge, they made up a lot of ground in the puzzle. So
I don't understand why they're making Chris keep doing all these puzzles. He never gets them.
Yeah, he never gets them done. Sunday and Jessica have proven that they can get it done, that they can pick it up very quickly. And David he weighs like 80 pounds. So like put him on there. And clearly he's very intelligent. Clearly he's an intelligent man. I wouldn't say intelligent in the game, but he's an intelligent man. So I feel like that was a safe choice to put on there anyway.
Right. So let's talk about so Millennial wins. So their team's safe again for the third time.
Again, this season has so many parallels to the last version of Survivor where we had based off of age, which was Nicaragua, and that was
in the Beauty Tribe, like when everything.
Yeah, well, no. Well, this is season 21, Nicaragua. It was young versus old, and it was like under 30 versus over 40, and the younger tribe just demolished the older tribe, and it's very similar to how these are working out. I mean, the older tribe was very structured. They had a very set like system where like these people are on top, you're on the bottom. There's no changing that. And then on the other side, the younger tribe, just like the Millennials, they're much more fluid. They understand that just because I have an alliance today doesn't mean it's sticking together tomorrow. So that I think that we're seeing a lot of parallels, and it's very interesting. However, I think this season is a lot better so far.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Yeah, so they're talking. So let's talk about Gen X's decisions in before tribal council even happened. So there's a lot of drama between Ken and Lucy and like Jessica, and there's this whole entire game of telephones going on, and it's absolutely fucking crazy.
Like, I understand like Ken's reasoning where he's like, I just don't want to be told just straight out what to do. I want to discuss it, but at the same time, like you're on the bottom. Like, take what you can get. Don't argue with it. Like you're on the bottom. You don't have as much power as you think you would. And David, the way that he did at Tribal Council with that's what I'm calling it. Basically, he lashed out, and like it was just oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated. Like watching them play because clearly, I think Ken is clearly the smarter person in the pair. Like even though that he clearly did not want Jessica to go, he understood that I'm not going to change it, and I'm on the bottom, so it's not someone who I'm very close with, who's not in my three, which is him, CC, and David. So I'm fine with that. And they still had before the tribal council, they still had the idol. So it was just like there was no reason. Ken is a much smarter player than David, in my opinion.
You think so? I don't know about that.
I definitely think so. Like he did lash out, but it was clear that he and Lucy, just based off the vote, that he and Lucy like had some understanding. He was looking more forward, I think, than David, where he was like, if I vote for Jessica, there might be a switch, there might be something that changes things up, and I could be on top. It might get worse, but at the same time, the people that I'm closest with are still in the game. Jessica wasn't someone that he did. So,
yeah,
I think Ken's the better player.
I don't know about that because the reason. So let's just go right into tribal council. So there's how many people? There's 8 people in the tribe right now, correct? before
Yes.
the
8 before the elimination. Yep.
right. So there's 8 before the elimination, right? And obviously
Yep.
Dave's talking about using this idol. If Lucy leaves, I'm gonna be on the bottom. And if
Yeah.
that happens, then we're going to get fucked. All 3 of us are going to get screwed over. So I think that when he went to tribal council, I don't know, I might be wrong, but I think that when he went to tribal council, he was thinking the term of the team. Like the teams were not going to break up or anything like that. We find out later that the teams are going to get split up, but I think his mindset was, listen, there's going to be 7 people after this. Let's get the numbers on our side. Let's flip some shit around. And ultimately, he fucking flipped shit.
Like, he did flip shit, but it's like when you're in a theme, like he does statistically, since season 20, we've only had 2 seasons that have not had switches. Both of those seasons had Redemption Island. We don't have Redemption Island this season. Every other season, especially ones that have themes, have switches. The magic number is 4.
Yeah.
That's typically when a switch happens. It's either 4 or 6. If I were David, I would have waited. Like, the target's not...
Hello? I think you froze. Nate, I think you froze. Okay, so yeah, back to what Nate was saying.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Did you? I thought you froze for a second.
Oh, you froze. Okay, I froze. Yeah.
Okay. So what were we saying about the statistics of it?
Okay. So like, it's the likeliness that there was going to be a switch at 4 is high. Like, it's a 20-person season. It's a theme. Like, he had to anticipate there was either going to be a switch then or at least 2 more rounds.
Yeah.
The fact that I think he overplayed. He really overplayed. And it's very hard to say that because he's an exciting game player, but he's not thinking forward. Like, people in Survivor say you can't think forward, you have to think day to day. You have to think it's like a little bit forward. He should have kept the idol.
I don't know. The thing is, I think he in his mindset, he was thinking about like, well, what if teams don't switch? If we get out Lucy right now and I use the idol and I save her, it's gonna flip and then it's gonna be David, Ken, CC, Jessica's on the outs now because everyone fucking voted her out. Over
Jessica's gone.
3 other people.
So like, yeah, you have Lucy who likes David.
Yeah.
Like, David had to think about him. He should have thought about himself individually. Like, she likes him. They don't mind him. Brett and Chris are still very pissed off. I think Lucy would have still been willing to work with them because clearly, like, she was able to convince Ken to flip. David still would have had the idol. Even if they had to, they still could have flipped the game. And I think Sunday would have been fine, like, either flipping on with them or at the very least there was a tie. So, like, I think
it was a gamble. It was more of a gamble, to be honest.
It is a gamble. I don't think it's a good move. I really don't think it's a good move. Like, just knowing the game and knowing that the switch at 4 is extremely likely, going after Lucy then is not a good idea. Lucy is an easy person to get out because she's very... okay, we're frozen again. But
really?
Yeah, I was frozen. But
oh, okay.
Yeah. She's an abrasive character. She's someone that the Millennials aren't going to like. So if there's a switch, it's not going to be David on the chopping block. It's not going to be Ken on the chopping block. It's not going to be CC on the chop necessarily because CC isn't very good at challenges. But it's not going to be CC immediately. It's going to be people that rub people the wrong way. That's going to be Lucy. That's going to be Brett. That's going to be Chris. Maybe Sunday a little bit. So it's just, in terms of forward thinking, I really don't think it was the best move. We'll see how it goes. At best, I'm giving David 10th place at the moment. I don't think he's going to do well this season.
It's a good idea that you think about that opinion because I have the opposite. So the thing is, I actually think that David is, by doing this, is a good player. I think, for me, that's just why I think. The reason why I think that is because of, in gameplay, you think of choices, decisions, and all this other bullshit. So he thought, at least I think, if there wasn't going to be a switch, that he would have the numbers. He would still have good connections with Ken, good connections with CC, a better connection with Jessica, and then he would be the 4th person, and there would be...
Well, Jessica's gone. And no, never mind.
No. Because he used the idol, that means it's them 4 versus Brett, Sunday, and Chris. So they would be on the
Yeah.
outs, and they would have power.
Yeah.
So that's what he was thinking at the time. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But also coming to the merge, because now it's going to be, I'm assuming it's going to be 2 teams of 8.
Yeah, the switch. Yeah, no, it's going to be 2 teams of. Yeah, right. It's 2 teams
right.
of 8.
So we know David. We've seen David's gameplay that he did talk to the other people on the other side of the island.
Yeah,
Talk to Millennials.
and that's technically at the time it was a good play. At the time it was a good play on his part because it's like, okay, I'm on the bottom. If I make it to the switch, then I'm in a good position. Millennials know I want to work with them. They know they have a number on our side. However, you've now pissed off 3 people. Like he's now going into a switch where the Millennials know he's playing. They know he's playing. The Gen Xers know he's playing. He no longer has an idol. He no longer has any form of safety, and they know it because he used it.
Yeah.
These 3 people are very strong challenge-wise. They're not going to be necessarily targets in terms of challenges. They might be targets strategy-wise. But if the team is desperate enough to keep their winning streak going, they're going to keep them in the game. Especially, and I think that Chris might be able to talk with the Millennials a little bit. He seems to be very well spoken, so I think that he might be able to connect a little bit there. But like,
I disagree with that. I honestly think that David has a better social game than Chris does, because we all know that Dave is a really good strategist. We all know that he used the idol, he flipped shit, yeah. And we also know that.
I wouldn't say he's a good strategist. I think he's a good gambler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's willing. Yeah, I think he's willing to take a risk if he thinks that there's even a chance that it will benefit him. As we saw, like the first episode, he was willing to go out and look for an idol. He knew he was being paranoid. He knew other people were thinking he was paranoid because people told him he was being paranoid. But he still kept looking for it because he knew if he got the idol, that's power. Regardless if people knew if he had it, that's something that he could use. See that like in the third episode with Paul, he's willing to flip the vote, and then on the 4th, and we also saw with the summit that he is willing to make deals with anyone. And then the 4th episode, he plays an idol. He's playing very hard. People don't like that.
People don't like that, but I will give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he is not someone who you would vote out instantly. I feel like he's in an okay spot right now. He might be a little bit dangerous, but going into with the mixture, now we're having these mixtures. Depending on what type of people are in his group, I think he can do exceptionally well. I think he can get along with some of the people in the Millennials, and I think he's going to be able to. Now that he doesn't have an idol, he has to focus more on his social game. I think he knows that. He knows he doesn't have it anymore. That was his last straw, and that's when he's going to have to realize that I have to just focus on my social game.
It really depends on his on who he flips with. If he if he switches with. If he switches into a tribe with Brett, Chris, and Sunday, he's probably screwed. They're gonna throw him under the bus immediately. It's not gonna go well for him unless, of course, the Millennials are sympathetic and we're like, oh, that's one person, we can take control. So like there are many layers to it, but I really do think that he's just playing very haphazardly. It's not, I wouldn't say it's necessarily stupid. I just think that he's not thinking through his options.
Yeah.
I think he's thinking very much on his toes. It's very improvisational, and he's going by how he feels. And I think that's very.
Well, you've watched Survivor more than I have, so your opinion probably makes more sense than mine, but. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think he can make it far. I mean, at this point, he's really fucking gambling everything. But I mean, he has nothing to lose now.
Yeah, and even Lucy said in her exit interview when she was being after Lucy the day after, she even said that the whole tribe was anticipating a switch the next day. So it was like, the whole tribe is expecting a switch. Why would even if there's not a switch, that means they're still willing to work with you if you feel calm around them. That if you make them feel good about
I guess
you.
David at the time, maybe he thought if the switch happened that he could be outnumbered still, because what if he's not in the team with Ken, CC, and what if he's not in a team with Ken and CC? He's fucked.
Yeah, but
he didn't want to risk that.
I know, but regardless, I think Lucy was still open to be working with David and Ken. So I think regardless of it, as long as Brett and Chris weren't on this, like both of them weren't on the same tribe as David, I think David would have been okay. The likeliness of that happening is low. So it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
I have like 50-50.
I don't think it was this.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. Also, people on Twitter, stop saying Lucy's an idiot.
I don't think she was an idiot. I just think she got blindsided. That was it.
She got blindsided. She was unfortunately eliminated. I'll say that. It was unfortunate that she was, and I think it was just simply because of the way that Ken took the conversation. I think she's definitely an underrated player in terms of being like a pre-merge boot. Her plan technically to get rid of Jessica worked, and it worked well because even Ken voted out Jessica. She convinced Ken to vote out Jessica, and Ken did not want to do that. Yeah. So it's just, and she would have been in a solid position. She probably would have been the most likely Gen Xer to win. Yeah. If this has succeeded, like by far.
Yeah. Well, I think we all know what it's like to get out 4th place. Well, get out 4th, yeah.
Get out, be the 4th.
We got Lucy. We got you, Lucy.
We feel you. We feel you.
Good. It's always like It's always like the strategic player that gets out like 4th.
Yeah. I think in our case though, I think we both saw it coming, but with her, she had no idea. Yeah. But oh yeah. Okay. So we want to talk about the Millennials.
Let's talk about Millennials a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So Adam. I am so excited.
He got the idol. We forgot to say that.
He got the idol. I swear he almost shit his pants.
I know.
Because it's just like, how is the idol hunting going? Oh, we're frozen. I'm frozen.
No, you're not.
Okay, you were frozen for me. Okay, I think it's my end. Okay. But and it's like, how's the idol idol hunting going? He's like. He's like trying down his pants, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, he's not gonna see him. Because like Hannah isn't someone you want to trust in this game because clearly like she is willing to flip at a moment's notice. So it's just that was close on Adam's part, but I think Adam is getting a slight winner's edit. Like. We haven't seen him in at the very least, he's getting one that's very similar to Spencer, where they're setting him up to be either very likable and then someone who's going to fall hard, be an underdog type character, or he's going to win.
Yeah. I agree with that. Fuck it. I'm like out of focus.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Okay. So Paul, he wins the immunity.
Yeah, he gets the idol. No one knows he has it. No one knows he has
it. Good. No one should know he has it.
No one should know. I wouldn't even tell Zeke. If you have the idol, don't tell anyone unless they find it. Unless they find out.
Don't trust anyone.
Yeah, don't trust anyone.
That's what we learn in these games. Don't trust anyone 100%. For the love of God.
Exactly. Like you shouldn't tell anyone because that's a liability on your part. I mean, there have been. Why? Yeah, exactly. Like there have been people who have used that to their advantage. I mean, we have Carolyn from season 30, where I forget his name. He wasn't very present in the game in terms of what we saw, but he was the only person that knew he had the idol. She blindsided him because he knew that she had the idol. So that's a good move on her part. But does that usually happen? No. Usually, yeah. It's just. Kudos to Adam on that for sure. And then I think we should talk about Figgy and Taylor though.
Figgy and Taylor, we always have the Tiggy show. The Tiggy show.
Oh God.
Okay, I know a lot of people don't like them, but I don't mind them to be honest.
I'm okay with Figgy. Yeah. Taylor annoys me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a little bit.
Just because he's an idiot. But it's just I generally dislike stupid people, so it's just But
he hasn't gotten into a fight with anyone, so I'm just kind of like, okay, he's okay right now because he's not arguing with anyone, so
he hasn't argued with anyone. But statistically, his type of character goes out right after a switch. So I think it'll just depend on who he switches with and whether or not his tribe wins or loses.
He's gonna be screwed if he's on a team with Chris. I don't think he's gonna do good if he's on a team with Chris. I think Chris and him are gonna get into an argument.
If he's with Chris, Brett, or Sunday, it's not gonna be good for him.
Yeah.
It's just, or even Ken. I don't even think Ken could even talk to Taylor and be with him. I definitely think one of them is going home. I think Figgy is less likely to go home. I think she's better connections. I think she's able to talk to people better than Taylor, and more socially aware. I don't think she's aware of herself all the time, but I think she's more aware of how people are moving in the game. And she has a tendency. She does have a tendency to rub people the wrong way, but like even Michaela, she even was able to even Michaela voted for her to stay. So that shows that she has some redeeming qualities. Also in terms of from a production standpoint, I think Taylor's way more invisible than Figgy is. He's not someone that we're gonna cry over if he gets eliminated. So it's just gonna be if Taylor gets makes it to the merge, I'm gonna be shocked. But and if Figgy gets the merge, I won't be shocked, but she should consider herself lucky because she's probably gonna screw with her.
Yeah. I guess that covers up the episode. Is that it, or is there anything else you want to cover? I think
I think we're good in terms of really discussing certain people. But I think in terms of the Millennials, I think we're looking at a Millennial winner at this point. It's just setting up.
Too, yeah.
It's just setting up for one of them to win. The Gen Xers are just being ballistic right now. They just don't care. So it's just. I think we're going to see a Millennial win. I think it's going to likely be Adam, Michaela, or Michelle. I think those are probably the likely ones at this point.
I even said I was comparing. I think it was Michaela. I was comparing her to who the African American from last season.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hold on. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, he'll look it up. But yeah, she kind of reminds me of her. Very low key, passive aggressive, strong.
Yeah.
And doesn't show her cards. That's kind of how Sydney. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's like a Final Four girl. I feel like she'll make it.
Yeah. We're going to see. I predict Michaela's going to go to the final three. I really do think Michaela's going to go very.
But then again, you have people like David, so David could fuck it all up for everyone. That's what kind of
That's true, but I think Michaela, from what we've seen, I think Michaela has more of a tendency to be able to connect with more people. I really do. I think she's personality-wise, I think she's more capable of working with the Gen Xers and the Millennials. So I can definitely see her get to Final Three for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, that covers up the episode. I know it's been a while. Nate, I don't know if you know this about our podcast, but we do Reality Room News.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I have.
I recently. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a few news. First thing. Sequester 5.0 is happening. They're down to the final 10. Definitely watch that. It's on every. Oh yeah, it's 9. Sorry, they're on final. They're on final 9 now, and it's always on from 10 to 12 Eastern, and then it's 9 to 11.
9 to 11 Central.
Pacific.
Yeah. Central.
Okay, so they're 9 to 11 Central. So go and watch that.
Yeah.
Very interesting. If you want to apply, there's an application on the website, so that'd be pretty cool.
Do it. It's so much fun.
No matter what place you get, it doesn't matter. Just have fun and don't have any regrets. Yeah. But over that's happening. Another thing for Reality Room News, I got second thing. Big Brother fans out there, if you're from New Jersey, James and Natalie are having a meet and greet on Wednesday. I think it's between 7 and 10. It's in New Jersey. If you want to go out there and meet them. They're not charging like Paulie does, so it's free.
Because they're not complete asshats. That's why.
I'm not trying to profit off anyone, so that's good.
Yeah.
So do that if you're free on Wednesday. And the third.
I wish I was in Jersey right now.
I know. I was like, fuck, we could go, Nate. And then I guess the third thing. What was the third thing I was gonna say? Oh yeah, so sequester. Last sequester thing. We're having a big meetup thing in Orlando. From Thursday to Sunday. I guess we're gonna like be doing some. I think when we do our after shows, we might have them on and stuff like that too,
Yeah.
because someone's gonna be bringing laptops, and I'll make sure that if with Survivor, we'll still do our podcast. Hopefully,
Yeah, we could do like a sequester like review, like
Yeah.
5.0 review, and get like a ton of people in on
Oh
that.
yeah, while we're there, might as well. I think finale's on a Saturday or something like that.
Yeah, and then we could like do it the next day. Who knows?
Yeah. So that's about it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Nate, where can everyone follow you? I know we keep talking about that.
At Hatzmania, HATZ Mania on Twitter.
Yep, definitely follow Nate on Twitter. You guys can follow me, but you don't have to on the rapper Biggie on Twitter.
I follow him. He's funny.
Yeah. So I guess until next time, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Give those thumbs up, and yeah, see you next time.